Google Hangout. My name's Sally-Anne and I'm the International Recruitment Officer for students from the Middle East.
And I'm Richard, I'm the International Recruitment Officer for Africa.
What we're going to do today is give you a short presentation about the university, which will hopefully answer some of your questions, and then do a question and answer session later on.
Okay, so welcome to the University of South Wales. We'll just talk about where we are in the world, our campuses, how you can make an application, a little bit of information about personal statements that you'll need with your application, the cost of study at the University of South Wales, and general student life. Okay, let's start off with where we are. We're in the UK, we're in the west of the UK. We're well connected to all parts of the UK, from north to south, west to east. And we're about 3 hours by train from London. Some of our campuses are much closer to London, less than 2 hours to Newport. So the campuses have the best of both worlds. We're city living and we're near the countryside as well. So as I said, we get best of both worlds. Also, the cost of living in South Wales is comparatively low to the rest of the UK. So you get a bit more money at the end of the month to spend on things you like to spend your money on. And there's lots to see and do around the area as well. So why would you consider the University of South Wales? We have really competitive fees and great international scholarship schemes. We're friendly, welcoming and safe. South Wales is one of the safest parts of the UK to live and study in. The UK has a very low crime rate anyway, and South Wales is just lower than that anyway. So easily accessible, and as I said, we're close to lively cities, peaceful towns, some wonderful castles, and excellent sporting facilities and scenery. So this is our Newport City campus, which is on the banks of the River Usk. Courses taught on this campus are business, teacher training, education, and professional programs. And this is our Cardiff campus, which is in the city centre of Cardiff, the capital city of Wales. And you can see this is primarily for creative industries, so everything from art and design, performance and media, animation, media, culture, and journalism. So this is a very creative place to study if you're interested in creative industries. And now we'll move on to our largest campus, Treforest. So these are some of the subjects taught here: business, computing, psychology, English, history, and law. We also teach sciences, nursing, medical sciences, pharmaceutical sciences, and sports here as well. So how do you make an application? Most undergraduate applications can be made through UCAS, the Universities and College and Admission Service. Postgraduate can be made direct to the university using our online application system. There's the website in front of you, and we'll have that on screen later as well. If you already have your high school results, you can still apply direct to the university. There's no need to go through UCAS. I just want to point out from our friends from Nigeria and Ghana, you need to use one of our trusted agents in country to make an application. I'll now hand you over to Sally-Anne, who will take you through the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Rich. First of all, what will you need to make your application? In order to make an application, a university needs specific information. It will mean your application is processed quickly and an offer will be given to you, usually within 10 working days. So we need all your personal information, such as your name, your date of birth, and a current address for you. If you're applying through UCAS, We also need to know the universities that you want to apply to. We need all your school and employment history. Don't leave any gaps in your application. If you finished high school and it took you 9 months before you started employment, let us know. Gaps aren't a problem, but we just need to know what you've been doing and when you've been doing it. Include all completed applications and also any current applications that you're still studying. You'll also need a reference, and you'll also need, finally, a personal statement. So what is a personal statement? The personal statement is your chance to sell and differentiate yourself, to influence the admissions tutors and explain your motivations. This is the most important part of the application. As I said, this is a chance for you to show the university why we should take you. So you need to be excited about your chosen course. You need to write clearly and correctly. Make sure you spell check your personal statement and make sure you're referring to everything. So refer to the university, refer to the course of study. Discuss your experiences in the area. If you're applying for sports studies, let us know the type of sports that you've been competing in. If you're applying for engineering and you've competed in different projects, let us know a little bit about that. You also need to demonstrate your ability to reflect on those experiences. So have a think about what you've learned. If you were playing for a soccer team or a rugby team, think about what that has taught you in life. And talk about your interests and achievements. Personal statement doesn't have to be all academic. We want to know about you. We want to know what makes you an individual. We want to know what you're interested in. You'll also need references. Please ensure that you ask your referee before putting them down as a reference so that either the university can contact them, or if you prefer, you can speak to your referee and ask them to submit a letter at the time of application. What a reference needs to do is be honest. It needs to confirm the accuracy of your personal statement. If you're telling us that you were the best student in business studies, do not submit a reference that said you struggled in a particular area. A reference will also check and approve your qualifications. So if you've told us you've done a degree in engineering, a reference should actually say that you've completed a degree in engineering. So costs of the course, Richard said earlier that it's a very competitive university. The fees are competitive when compared to other institutions, and we have a good scholarship package as well. So for example, we have full-time research degrees such as MPhils and PhDs, where the fees are £13,100 per year. Postgraduate degrees for Masters of Arts and Master of Sciences are £12,600, and an MBA is £12,900. You'll also see we've got maximum scholarships. So for the MBA, you could be awarded a scholarship of £1,500, and for an MA or MSc, a scholarship of £2,000. Our undergraduate bachelor's degrees cost £11,900 with the opportunity of a £1,500 scholarship. And we have an international foundation programme for students who perhaps don't meet the entry requirements to join a bachelor's degree directly and need an additional year of study. This will cost you £7,350. We also have a number of pre-sessional English programmes, which range from £1,600 to £7,000, depending on the length of English support that you need. So this will depend on your IELTS score. So we will take students from IELTS 4 and above. We have a Chancellor's International Development Scholarship, which is for undergraduate students and is for £2,500 and is available for students from the following countries: Brazil, Cameroon, Colombia, India, Kazakhstan, Kenya, Mexico, Nepal, Nigeria, Russia, South Korea, Sri Lanka, Taiwan, Tanzania, Thailand, Turkey, Uganda, Vietnam, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. If you go onto our website and look at the international pages, there are further details there about the scholarship packages that we offer. When you come to study at the university, obviously it's not all going to be about academics. You need to know what your life is going to be like when you're here. We have accommodation on our campuses, self-catering accommodation. So you'll be responsible for cooking your breakfast, your lunch, your evening meals. It's a safe environment for all students, and they are single study bedrooms or micro apartments. We've got internet connection available in all rooms. The rooms are en suite, so there are no shared bathroom facilities. And then we also have recreational facilities on campus and a shared kitchen. Rooms range in price from £79 to £109 per week. If you have a look at our website, you'll be able to see the latest costs. If you prefer to live in private accommodation, a range of housing is just a 5-minute walk from all the campuses in Treforest, City Campus Newport, and the Atrium Campus in Cardiff. Have a look at the accommodation pages on our website and you'll find lots of information on private sector accommodation, and our accommodation services staff will also provide assistance to help you find a suitable place. So not everything when you're at university is going to be straightforward. We offer lots of support for international students. If you have a problem, we have lots of people that can help you. We've got a counselling and advice service. We have student money services. We have health centres to keep you healthy while you're studying. A student union which represents you and supports you and also does a lot with leisure activities. We have spiritual well-being, so we have chaplaincies and prayer rooms on campuses. Disability and dyslexia support. And we also have an immigration and international student advice team who will help and assist you to settle into life in the UK. And all students, we always recommend you join our International Arrival Week. This is arriving 1 week before your actual course starts, and this will help you to find your feet within the university, within the surrounding area, make you friends, and generally feel settled before you start your academic programmes. As I was just saying, the International Welcome Week is the week before enrolment, lots of social programmes and information sessions. Most activities are free, or there will be a small charge which will cover buses and coaches. More than 500 students take part every year, and it really gives you a chance to meet people, make new friends and settle as soon as you arrive. We also offer a free airport pickup from Cardiff International Airport and a meet and greet service from London Heathrow Airport. Both of these services you will need to book 5 days beforehand. So if you're looking to supplement your income, there's part-time work available in and around the campuses, so you can have extra money, explore what opportunities are available, and it also gives you a chance to enhance your CV and career prospects. Any job that you do will always differentiate you when you're making job applications. You'll meet new people, make new contacts, but you will also need to remember you need to balance your work with your study. When you come to the UK to study, the academic side is the most important, so never let your work take precedent. You're also able to work during the university holidays. So here are a few questions from that we've been asking some of our students. So could you describe your time at the University of South Wales? Edward said, it's an amazing experience with wonderful people and lots of fun. We asked Alice, what advice would you give to someone who wants to study in the UK? She said, firstly, don't forget to take your umbrella. And secondly, I can't promise you it's going to be easy, but it's totally worth it. And finally, Christopher, was asked about if he enjoyed his experience at South Wales. He said, "I've really enjoyed my experience here and I know I've made friends for life." We hope you will too. So hopefully you found that presentation useful and it answered some of your questions. We've also got some questions that some of you have submitted already, which Richard and I will attempt to answer.
Shall I take that first one?
Yeah.
Okay, Ruby Morris. This question has just disappeared, but it was a question about scholarships. Okay, so we offer various scholarships that we've already outlined on the presentation, and the great thing about applying for a scholarship at the University of South Wales is that you don't have to make an application. Once you've applied for your course, you're automatically put forward to the scholarship scheme most appropriate to you, and we will confirm that in your offer letter. So I said there's no separate application process, it's all automatic.
And Nazrul Dean's also asked about scholarships. You're saying that you don't have enough balance to cover your finances. The only scholarships we've got are the ones which we referred to during the fees and scholarships slide, which you've just seen. So they're partial scholarships. In order to apply for a visa for the UK, you do have to show that you have the balance of your fees available to you and in your bank account for a minimum of 28 days prior to your visa application. So I'm afraid there are no full scholarships that are available, only the partial scholarships that we've alluded to earlier.
Okay, so Victor is asking, does the university support dual training system where you spend time in class learning theory, then you go to company for practicals? That's a very good question from Victor, and the university encourages this as much as possible. The majority of our courses will have links to industry, whether you're doing business, sport, engineering, or even performance and drama. As I said, we encourage our students to take work placements, whether that's 1 day a week, 2 days a week, or even 12 weeks a year, up to a full year out of the university and working in industry. We have various support networks to do this. They're all competitive, so the student will need to compete against other students to get the best value and the best project. But it's very much something that the university encourages.
Right, so Amma Walid is asking how much the fees are and the housing and accommodation. Tuition fees vary depending if you're studying a foundation course, your undergraduate or master's programs. So the different fees were in the presentation earlier. Housing and accommodation fees on campus ranges from £79 to £109 per week, depending on the type of accommodation you choose. Private accommodation depends on the area and the type of accommodation that you're choosing. Can range really from a room in a shared house to your own private flat. So it really depends on what you choose. If you contact the accommodation office through our accommodation web pages, you'll be able to see the types of accommodation that's available. So moving on from that question, Williams asked, what is the process for getting accommodation in the halls of residence? Once you've made your application and you're holding an unconditional offer, the university will contact you and actually send you a link to make the accommodation. Everything is straightforward, everything is online, so there's nothing to worry about. Accommodation is on a first come, first served basis, so make sure you make your accommodation application as early as possible.
Okay, Nyasha is asking, are there non-academic scholarships available to international students? Well, strictly speaking, our scholarships are not classed as academic scholarships, so they are awarded purely on nationality and not your academic performance. There are a number of other scholarships available during your study, so some awards are given to competition winners and students who apply themselves the most and maybe hand in the best assignment. And there are also certain sports scholarships as well. But as I said before, student life here is quite competitive, and that goes for these types of scholarships as well.
So Samuel's asking, are there any accommodation rooms for new students? There's accommodation for new and returning students. You need to make your application, as I described in the process before, really. Obviously, the sooner the better, and the more choice you'll have.
Okay, Oyedeli is asking, do you consider higher national diplomas with 6 years of working experience an offer in our university? Generally, yes, but we would need to look at the whole application in full before we made a final decision. But it's quite common for HND students to actually start at the university. So I would advise you to make your application and then we'll take it from there. Okay, Dada Mohammed is asking about scholarships, but I think we've already covered that, but he's also asking about English language testing. To study in the UK, you have to have a good level of English. There are all sorts of different tests available. If you look on the website, it normally mentions IELTS, but we do consider lots of English language tests from all over the world, even some of the high school English language tests that you would sit normally. So look on the website for your individual countries and we'll be able to match your English language requirements. Anything to add, Sally?
No, I think the only thing perhaps to add is that if you don't reach the required English level for your course, remember, take a look at the pre-sessional English courses that we've got, because it may be you can come for 5 weeks, 10 weeks, 15 weeks, just to make sure that you get to the required level. Amir Walid is saying that he's an Egyptian graduate from the Open University in the UK, and a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology and Computing, and you want to continue to study for a master's in the US. The University of South Wales is actually in the UK, so we wouldn't be able to advise about making an application to a US university. As I said previously, we have small scholarships available, and the application process for a master's program, you would be making an online application, submitting copies of all your qualifications, your English language levels, references, and that all-important personal statement.
Okay, Abdullah Dashim is asking about Commonwealth shared scholarships and what we would consider as an ideal profile. Well, we've already discussed the personal statement in the presentation we did earlier, and I think that's a good starting point for what we would be looking for. So if you want to have a look at that, and also there are some great pointers on our website as well. So please check out the website and information on personal statements, and that should give you much more detail about what we're looking for.
So Joshua has asked, what are our graduation periods during the academic year? We have 2 intakes for enrolment in September and February each year, and when you graduate will depend upon the length of the course and when you started the course. As a rule, the largest graduation ceremonies take place in July each year, and then we also have a graduation ceremony in December for students who complete their course in September or November of a year. We've actually got the graduation ceremonies next week.
Okay. Victor Charles seems to be having some problems with his web browser and can't see our video. He's asked us to email him. So Victor Charles, if you can hear us, we will email you later today.
Morris has asked us, what do you mean by a conditional offer? A conditional offer can mean if there is anything outstanding or pending in order for us to give you a full offer for a course. So, for example, if you're applying for a master's course, but you're currently studying a bachelor's program, your offer would be conditional upon successfully completing the bachelor's course of study. If we were waiting on evidence of your English language, that you were taking an IELTS test, you could have an offer which is conditional upon you achieving the required IELTS score. So it just means that there is something missing which is making your application complete, or something which we are waiting for you to complete or pass or provide.
Okay, Dada Mohammed is asking, do we offer scholarships for refugees coming from Africa? And I'm afraid the answer is still the same as before. The only scholarships we have available are the ones previously mentioned.
All right, so Samuel is a continuing student taking a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology and wants to know if he can continue with his course after joining the University of South Wales. We've got a number of postgraduate courses in the field of computing. So we've got subjects such as computer forensics, computer science, computer systems security, computing and information systems, cybersecurity, and mobile computing. What I would suggest you do is have a look at our website and have a look at the module details for each course and see which one you are specifically interested in, and then make your application.
Okay, George Michael is asking, is it possible to work as a research assistant or tutorial assistant for MSc students? As George is coming to the university to study civil and structural engineering in February. It's a possibility, but as we've previously explained, very competitive here at the university. So you will be looking to compete with other similar students for those types of roles. The best thing to do is, as soon as you arrive, is talk to your award leader to see if there are any vacancies. But having said that, there's normally plenty of work around the university in other sectors that you'll be able to work up to 25 hours per week.
Oyadeli Ahmed has got a HND in mechanical engineering and is wondering if we have a top-up program in automotive engineering. We don't actually have an automotive engineering top-up program. However, we do have a mechanical engineering top-up program, which is suitable for HND holders. That course starts in September each year only. So you still have plenty of time to make your application for September 2016.
If you can just bear with us for a few minutes, folks. We seem to be having technical difficulties. Okay. Okay, Oyadeli Hamid is asking what is the closing date of the application for next academic session. Well, the February intake is our next academic session, but unfortunately the application deadline was yesterday, I believe, or even earlier in the week. So we're now looking towards September 2016, and the application deadline for that, for direct applications to the university, is the 18th of August, I believe, or around that date. So there is plenty of time for the September 2016 intake.
So David is asking, do we offer full scholarships for international students? Unfortunately, as you've seen, we have partial scholarships, not full scholarships. He's also asking, do we give free admission for the applications? Yes, if you make your application online, there is no charge for applying directly to the university. You don't actually say where you are, David. Richard, where you mentioned earlier about students from Nigeria and Ghana applying through an agent.
Yes, for students living in Nigeria and Ghana, we require all our applications to go through our trusted agents in country. We have a number of agents in both Ghana and Nigeria, based in the major cities. We ask students to do this primarily because the visa application process can be quite rigorous, and it helps to have an agent who can speak to the students on a day-to-day basis.
Mohammed Ben Shaban has asked when the MSc Electronic and IT course foundation starts. The foundation programs are designed for high school students who are looking to progress onto a bachelor's degree. We don't have foundation or pre-master's courses leading on to a master's course. If you're making an application for a master's, they can look at your academic qualifications, but they will also consider work experience. So this again is where you need to look at, if you're making an application, make sure that you write a good personal statement and explain exactly what you've been doing. If your application is based on your work experiences, make sure that you let us know what you've been doing and what your roles and responsibilities are. If it's for a technical course like an electronic program, tell us exactly what you've been doing. Don't just put a job title, because we don't always know what you've been doing from a job title. You really need to explain what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and what responsibilities that you have.
Okay, Adi Toten is asking about a PhD application. What we'll do is investigate that offline and get back to him as quickly as we can. We'll email you with that answer.
Deoton has asked that he's looking for a PhD in electrical and electronics engineering. Does that mean there is no scholarship for that? No, we don't actually have any partial scholarships for PhD programs, I'm afraid.
Okay, Joshua is asking about achieving scholarships and whether there's a cap on the limits of achieving scholarships we can take. I believe there is not. We have quite a few achieving scholarships or scholars with us at the moment, and I know we do have quite a few applications for achieving scholarships at the moment, but there is no cap as far as I'm aware.
So Bello has asked, do you consider higher national diploma with years of working experience for admission to an MSc programme in the university? Bello, yes, we would. Like I just explained, you will need to emphasise in your application about your work experience and your responsibilities. You'll also need to ensure that you are able academically for the programme. So if you've had a long period since academic study and then you've been working, you really need to show that yes, you are ready to come back into academic study at a later stage in life. But an HND, we do have a number of students who have come in with work experience. Alternatively, we have a number of top-up programs for HND students, which would enable you to come for 1 year and to complete a BSc program.
Okay, Rabab Ali is asking, do we accept undergraduates to complete their study? Once you've completed your undergraduate study, then you can go on to postgraduate study with us, depending on your course preference. Obviously, we may not have the course that you want to study, but again, look at our website and you'll be able to find much more information on which courses are available at the university.
Following on from that, Rabab's actually asked another question. Is it possible for the student to apply for a master's when he or she is in the last year of a bachelor's? Yes, it is. This would be one of those instances if you make an application and the university wants to offer you a place onto the master's programme, your offer will be conditional, and it would be conditional upon you successfully completing the bachelor's degree. So you don't have to wait until you actually have your final transcripts and certificates to apply. You can still apply while your results are pending.
Okay, Morris from Uganda is asking if he can use his O-level English results to apply to the university. And yes, we do accept O-levels from Uganda as proof of English.
Mohammed Dole has asked, would you accept somebody with a Bachelor in Education to pursue a master's degree in business administration? It will depend on your application and it will depend on any work experience that you have. Usually from a master's degree in business administration program, we would be looking for somebody with 18 months work experience. However, they do take people from different backgrounds. I've got an MBA, I've got a degree in English literature, so you can see they do take people from a wide variety of subject areas.
Okay, George Michael is asking another question about accommodation. He wants to know whether he'll get a kitchen with other students, and the answer is yes, you would share your kitchen and social living space with other students.
We've got a question from, I apologise for my pronunciation, is it Silji? Who has asked, what IELTS score do USW require? It depends on the level of academic study that you're joining. So we have foundation programs for students with IELTS 5 to IELTS 6. For undergraduate programs, you'd be expected to have a minimum of IELTS 6 with no less than 5.5 in each band. And for postgraduate programs, IELTS 6.5 is required with no less than 5.5 in each band. We also have a number of programs that have specific IELTS requirements. So some programs like journalism may require a higher score. When you look at the program details on the website, you will be able to see if a different IELTS score rather than the norm is required.
Okay, and Sylvie's also asking whether you need to make a different personal statement for two different applications, and the answer is yes. So if you want to apply for human resource management, you need to make a separate application as well as your psychology application. So 2 applications and 2 personal statements.
Samuel is asking, is there any set date for the application of scholarships? Richard said earlier, you're not actually making an application for the scholarship. It's assessed at the time of you making your application for the academic program. So you don't need to worry about making a separate application. It's considered all at the same time.
Okay, I'm not sure, I can't remember, my memory's failing me now, but Morris has asked about using O-level English in Uganda to apply for his B.Eng in civil engineering, and yes, that's perfectly acceptable.
So Ahmed has asked, he's telling us he's from Iraq and is wondering if he can get a master's in civil engineering, and his age is 38. Age is no barrier to making an application to the university. It's based on your academic qualifications and it's based on your experiences. We have an MSc in Civil and Structural Engineering program and an MSc in Civil Engineering and Environmental Management. You'd be able to join the program as long as you have either relevant academic qualifications or significant relevant work experiences. And as I've said, remember your personal statement, submit all the supporting documentation to make sure your application is as full as possible.
Okay, John Moses is asking, is the University of South Wales the same as South Tyneside College? As far as I'm aware, we have no links with South Tyneside College.
Not that I know of. So Himo is asking, does the university accept students who have obtained a higher diploma in information technology? We have a number of top-up programs for students with higher diplomas. And again, if you have relevant work experience, you may be considered for a master's program as well.
Kikabotso Maditsi, excuse my pronunciation if I got that horribly wrong, from South Africa, is asking, do we accept South African students with a grade 12 matric? Yes, we do. You shouldn't need any additional qualifications as long as you have your matric.
So MOGAS Group are looking to study cybersecurity or computer forensics at the university and asking if it's possible for a fully funded scholarship. Unfortunately, as you'll have seen from the presentation, we don't offer fully funded scholarships. They are partial scholarships that are available for all students.
Ruby Morris is also asking, do we consider undergraduates? Yes, if you've completed your undergraduate degree, you can go on to postgraduate study with us.
Dada has asked if we offer a Masters of Translation program. No, we don't, unfortunately. Victor's also asked if we offer full scholarships for tuition fees and accommodation. Again, the answer is no, partial scholarships only, I'm afraid.
Okay, Abdullah is also asking, do we provide combined master's studies, such as 2 simultaneous degrees, civil engineering, or could opt in structures and BIM? It's not something that we do at this university, I'm afraid.
Aliyah has asked, what are the requirements in order to study law for somebody with an undergraduate degree in political science? To do a Masters of Law programme, you need an equivalent of a second-class honours degree. There are no subject-specific requirements. You would also need your IELTS score of 6.5 or above.
Oyadeli is asking, can the record of English language performance in a first degree or higher national diploma serve as a prerequisite instead of IELTS? On occasion it can do, but we would have to look at what the first degree is and what the national diploma is and where it was studied before we could actually make a final decision.
Ame Walid has said, sorry for the US-UK mistake, no problem. You're asking, is there any available full scholarship for a 1-year diploma in IT or computer science? As we've said a few times already today, no, we don't offer full scholarships. You've graduated from the Open University in the UK, so you're asking, would you need to take an IELTS to show as evidence of your English? This will be dependent on your application. Previous study in the UK can be used as evidence of English, but it will depend on how long ago you actually took the qualification. If it's recent, it will possibly be considered. If it's longer, say 5-10 years ago, we will probably ask for an IELTS score as evidence of your English.
Gerald Sarjimba is asking a follow-up question on IELTS. So if an applicant has had their education instructed in English from primary through to university, is an IELTS still a mandatory requirement? Not always. Again, we'd have to have a look at the full transcripts and where that English language education took place before we could make a decision. But IELTS is not always necessary in most cases.
Dada has asked when the application for a scholarship opens. There is no application process for a scholarship. It's considered when you make your academic application. So one application will be considered for entry onto your academic programme plus the partial scholarship.
Okay, Morris is asking, does USW offer scholarships or exchange programs for lecturers? Not to my knowledge, it doesn't, I'm afraid.
Silji is back and asking, is it possible to take a master in business after a bachelor in physiology? Again, it will depend on your application. It will depend on any experiences that you have. It will depend on your personal statement. Going into a business master's program, they will take people from different backgrounds. So it's possible, but you will need to use your personal statement to really sell yourself and explain why you want to do the particular program of study.
Okay, we have a question from Ghana, and I apologize in advance. I'm not even going to attempt to say your name, but it's again asking about the English language test. So I am from Ghana and I hold a second class upper honours in political science. Well done. Do I still need to write the English test? It's a little hard to say without going into detail of your education, but we do accept WIAC, for instance, as proof of English language. And if you've studied your undergraduate degree in English as well, we can accept that. But as I said, we'd have to look at it a bit closer, but it's an option that we could look at.
So we don't seem to have any more questions at the moment. Hopefully the presentation covered a lot of the answers that you may be looking for. The presentation will be put online as well, so you'll be able to go back and refer to it if you've got any other queries. Also, if you go to our website, to the international pages, you'll find Richard's contact details and my contact details. So you can feel free to contact us at any time if you've got any other queries about studying at the University of South Wales or any subject-specific questions as well.
Okay, thank you very much.